Hi, I'm Bradley Bell with the Upstream Collective and Antioch Church in Louisville, Kentucky, and today we're walking through Sending Church element number 6, evaluating sending models and partners. Let me give you a definition. A sending church evaluates sending models and partners when it proactively seeks out strategic models and partnerships that align with its convictions, vision, and strategy. This means overseas partners and missions organizations who not only help facilitate sending, but also align theologically, remain relationally accessible, and uphold the centrality of the local church. So let's start with this question. What exactly is a sending model? Well, there are multiple examples that we see in Scripture, but here's the idea. There are vocational missionaries, that is, people who step into missions as their job, their career, they're full-time at it. There are marketplace missionaries, those who take a job or make a job for themselves in a cross-cultural setting, and their income doesn't come from the work of ministry, but from their actual vocation, but through that they're able to minister, and then they have automatic credibility and sustainability in that place. Then we see students going on missions. We see retirees going on mission. There's so many different ways it's almost like a subway map of all the different kind of models in which a church can lean into based on what kind of unique resources God has blessed them with. If you have a ton of business people who travel the world, who are seen maybe clustered in a particular part of the world, lean into that and utilize that as a particular sending model. If you are in a seminary town or you're close to a particular missions organization that works in a particular place among particular people, perhaps that's a sending model that you would want to lean into. Now, what is a sending partner? Well, one scholar says this: missions organizations are, scripturally speaking, an abnormality, but they are a blessed abnormality. Now, what I mean by that is we don't look in the scriptures and see this missions organizations like we see in today's world. But it's a blessing that God in His grace has allowed us to develop these over time to come alongside local churches and to help them engage in God's mission in a way that they probably wouldn't be able to on their own. And so a sending partner is a missions organization, the International Mission Board, Pioneers, Surge, there's so many out there. Those are the organizations that we're talking about coming alongside of the local church. There are also partnerships with, nationals in their particular context, working directly with them. Partnerships of missionaries who are already overseas, who haven't been sent from your congregation, but are in a place and among a people in which you would like to engage as a church. That's what we mean by sending partners. And so when it comes to this, what we're talking about is being proactive versus reactive. So being reactive in evaluating sending models and partners means that you've got people coming to you in your church or people coming to you from organizations and saying, hey, I want to be sent with this organization, or hey, we as an organization want to partner with your local church. And so if you haven't already vetted them, if you haven't developed a relationship with them, then that means you're going to react in the moment. Yes, no, I'm not sure. And a lot of times we'll say yes just because it's a good thing. But that's not the healthiest way to respond. And instead, we would encourage churches to be proactive. That is, to intentionally take time to go and get to know particular missions organizations, to go and get to know particular potential partnerships, to go and research and think through particular sending models, so that instead of your people coming to you and you reacting, you proactively going to your people and saying, this is whom we want to partner with. This is who the organization that we want to send you through. And so some questions to ask to help you kind of discover and decide what partners and what models that you want to go with. One would be, church connectivity. Are they devoted to empowering our church in mission? One of the honest realities of missions organizations and partnerships today is a lot of times, instead of coming alongside the local church, they can perhaps usurp the role of the local church and say, send us your people, send us your money, send us your prayers, and we'll take care of the work for you. And that's not exactly the way that we see the Scriptures playing out in terms of the centrality of the local church. So is this organization, is this partner devoted to empowering our church in mission? Very important. A second one would be relational accessibility. Are they going to consistently relate and communicate with our church? It's very important. How do they respond to you? How do they engage with you? Are they getting back to you via email, by phone? Are they wanting to meet with you? Are they willing to come into town to connect, to speak at your church's gathering or to some of your missionary candidates? That's very important, and it will be a sign for what kind of relationship might be able to be maintained over time. Another question would be related to theological accord. Are they clinging to the same truths as our church? You don't want to be the church that partners with someone and then down the road realizes that you actually disagree on something pretty important theologically. So you want to do the work beforehand to see, are we in accord theologically and in our convictions? And that leads us to a fourth question related to strategic alignment. Are they fleshing out mission in similar ways as our church? In other words, you've developed hopefully your convictions, your vision, your strategy. Okay, that's how you want to engage, but is this partner, is this organization going to come alongside you and push you kind of out of that lane, or are they going to come alongside you and help you in it because that's kind of their same form of strategy? Very important. And so another question to ask in this process would be, what do you do as a church and what do they do as the partner, as the organization? Sometimes it's easy to go into things assuming, oh, we'll do this and they'll do that. But if you don't define it and work that out with them, then you could end up with a broken relationship, frustrated, and really who ends up hurt the most is the sent one themselves, who goes out and things fall through the cracks for them that should have been handled by one entity or another. And so, how do you answer those? Those are good questions, but how do you answer them? Well, the key thing is relationship. You got to take the time, put in the effort, the energy to get to know people from different organizations and potential partnerships. And that means spending time with them. That means networking. By networking, what I'm talking about is going to other churches, leaders that you trust, and saying, who do you partner with? Why do you partner with them? Tell us the good and bad about them. Now, also take trips. Before you send people out on a mission trip to a particular place to partner with a particular organization or a worker on the ground, why don't you as the leader take a trip and connect with them and see what the work really entails and see the character of the people in the organization? And then finally, you answer this question by prayer. Praying, God, specifically we ask that you would lead us to who you want us to partner with and the model that we are to embrace in terms of sending people out from our congregation. So there it is. That's how you evaluate sending models and partners. And so may the sending God bless you as you do that in your sending church.